Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll just be showing a random Saturday in my life. So usually on Saturdays after I wake up, one of the first thing I do after waking up and doing a little bit is to make Muri's hair. That's my baby's hair. I make her hair every weekend, right? Because she has itchy scalp, so for that reason I have to wash it every week, every single week. And before I used to like pack it like in small portions, but after a while I realized that I was getting too long for that, right? So I started weaving it because it was just easier for me. So I'd usually take off the first one, of course, and then I'd wash it. So for washing, I use Alma Botanical, and that's what I use. I mean, that's what I've used for us through the 1 year of our life, like up until now. But it has finished now, so I'm currently looking for what to use next. So I usually have to wash her hair sitting down because she doesn't like me bending her head over, right? So I would leave her in a high chair and scrub her hair, and it even makes it easier for me because that way I'm able to scrub it properly than I've been in a bathtub or something, bending her hair over, and I'm not able to do what I have to do. So I'll scrub because of the scalp. So I just think that because of the itchy scalp, that probably when I scrub well, maybe it would help with it, because I don't know what exactly it is. I've tried so many things, but I think it's just because of the weather, right? It's winter and the skin tends to be dry, and I have a dry scalp and a dry skin. She got that from me, and she also has a dry skin too. So afterwards, I rinsed it. I did that off camera because that was chaotic. So after that, I add coconut oil. Then she has, like, I use Ama Botanical, so they have like a egg goat butter. So that's what I use. I had that to her hair. Um, yeah, just do that and leave that in. I have to like massage it to the scalp because, like I said, because of the itchy scalp, because it's dry, I just tend to put a lot inside so that it can moisturize our scalp properly. I'm sure you'll be wondering why this comb is with her. I just had to give her the comb because I just need her hands off her head, because she would not make me do what I want to do. So she was watching, not even Miss Rachel, I was watching like a show here, and I mean, I was enjoying it. I was saying, so that made her to understand that, oh, it seems like this is something to enjoy too. So she was also watching that with me. I was going and coming, and then at this most the issue I have with, so what I try to do, right, most times is to like recreate the hairstyles I did when I was small. So you see me do shuku, you see me do patewo, you see me do koroba, you see me do different styles, like all those styles I used to call for when we were in primary and secondary schools. But I used to have issues because I need to be fast as possible because I'm working with time with this madam. She's careful now. I mean, she's seated now, calm. I have max maybe like 1 hour to do it to make the hair, and I have to be fast. Most times I just pat it, right. At this point I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was just patting it and saying, oh, okay, let's see what would come out. So she doesn't really have hair at the back, so most of the styles I do, I make sure that, oh, it's one that the front is very beautiful, and then I don't have to do a lot with the back hair because she doesn't really have so much. It's long, but it's not as full as her front hair. And at this point I'm like, oh, why not do koroba. That's what I decided to do here. So I had to pat it and do all that, and then I had to give her a banana because now she can say banana. So I just had to give her a banana to to keep her busy. And yeah, fast forward to me doing the first part. I'd already done the first part, and I'm like, yeah, this is looking nice. And I had to, I had to be taking the comb from her and replacing it with something else because she just needs to have something with her in her hands. And then one thing I do is, because I know that since she would put it in her mouth, I try to give her different things like food, finger food too. But the reason why I collected that banana is because was a mess everywhere around. She was messing everywhere up. So I just had to be switching with the comb, like the two different combs. And while weaving her hair, I don't weave it. It's not too hard, right? Because her scalp is still soft. It's still very soft. So I try my best not to make it hard, because so that it won't pain her, right? I try my best to not make it hard. So at this point, I was done. You guys can see the build. I could have even used bead, but as a child, she can remove it and put it in her mouth. That would even be more scary. So I was done with the front hair. I was not thinking of how would I do this back, because she's not taller than the chair and she would not make me bend her head. So this is how the front looks like, you guys. Can you see? Can you see? So beautiful, so beautiful. I mean, when I make her hair finish, I'm like, no, I did make hair. I did make hair. So to do the back, I made her dad carry her. So he held her, and then I did the back. The back, there were just like 3 strands or so. Like I said, her back hair is not as full as her front hair, so I don't waste too much time, but I just do what I have to do in the front. So afterwards, I had to feed her, to eat her food. So she at this point, she still takes Piri. She still takes a lot of Piri at this point. And yes, at this point we're watching Miss Rachel, right? So Saturdays are like days off for her, Miss Rachel and all that. I don't even, that day I leave her alone with Miss Rachel. Like she watches it up to when I feel it's okay for her, right? So that I can do all that I have to do. I mean, not like I have a nanny or anything. So I just put her there and do what I have to do. So yeah. So this is and then the struggle we get for her to eat. People don't even want to hear the story of food. You would think that the way her mother is a foodie, that whether this child will be a foodie, maybe she will still be a foodie in the future. I'm still looking forward to her being a foodie. Tori, the struggle to make her eat, as in if I like plate her food and then she finishes it, it's always like it's always like they've given me trophy, like I've won like £1,000,000. That's how it is for me, right? It's always like a lot, like it's like an achievement. If I give her food and she finishes her food, achievement, big achievement. And then for water, she doesn't know how to take water from like a straw. And then at first she wasn't taking water from cup. So what I did was giving water from bottle. And big bottles, to be precise, bottles like this. That was where she was taking water from. She didn't really enjoy taking water. What is a Saturday without you cooking or like meal prepping or something like that? What is a Saturday without that? So this particular Saturday, they had gone out, so I was the only one left at home, and I'm just like, oh, why not just make food for it was Saturday, I mean, so that Sunday we come back from church, I would not have to cook so much. So I had chicken, so I was boiling my chicken, and you know me, no, one of my friends would say Magnum. No Magnum, no, like I don't use seasoning cubes or anything. I make my seasoning by myself most times. And so I just added salt, I added thyme, I added rosemary. I love bay leaves. Like I never knew what bay leaves did for food until recently. And then if I have to like boil chicken and all that, I use bay leaf. So this mix you are seeing here is something that I did by myself. It's a mix of parsley. I had parsley, curry leaf, I had oregano, I had spring onions, I had green peppers, and what now? I think I added a little bit of thyme in it, so that's what I use. That's my bouillon cube. And so because I'll be making stew too, I had to cut onions. I use a lot of onions. Like onions, garlic, ginger. I mean, if you are somebody that don't like garlic, you don't like ginger, you don't like onions, you might not be able to eat my food because I use a lot of it. And because for this particular stew, I usually don't use tomatoes, not because of anything, just not that tomato is bad or that, it's just that here I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I when we moved to the UK, we were staying with my sister for a while, so she doesn't use it, and then I just got to understand that, oh, why then use tomato when you can use tomato paste or something? And the tomato paste that I use, they usually don't have any other thing aside from tomato and probably salt, you know. So I was going to make stew, so I had cut my onions, and you can see there that our chicken is boiling good. So here we are making, I'm going to start off by adding my oil. I had to wait for the pot to like dry up a bit, and then I added oil. I was going to add palm oil, but the palm oil had frozen, so I did not even I didn't want to start looking for how to defrost it. So I added my onions. I could have made these onions smaller, right? I could have used like a chopper, but laziness, I could have just brought down chopper and chop it up, but laziness did not allow me. This is me here having chunks of onions in my sauce. So what I do is I would allow it to like fry well to make it very soft, so it's almost invisible when you're eating it. So that's that. And afterwards, I added so I think I learned from CCME that if you want to like if you want to retain the taste of your food, you should kind of, I think that there's what they call it. There's what they call it in kitchen, like in like chef or the chef. I know there's something they call it. Is it saute or something of such? So I add most of the herbs and seasoning. I would add it in the oil and the onions. I just add a little bit of it so that it can fry well. So this is crayfish. I added crayfish because I wanted that, I wanted to do atta rice, right? So I wanted that taste because I didn't have panla or anything, so I wanted that taste. So I added all of that, allowed it to fry a bit, and added salt. So I add salt at this stage. So I added salt and I left it to fry for a while. So now you see me adding the tomato paste. So it's passata. It's called passata, but it's tomato paste. So I added that to the base to just make it begins to look like I want to make jollof rice, but no, it's still at a rice. And then it's because it's just rodo. So just scotch bonnet and bell pepper that I'll be using, long bell pepper that I'll be using. So I needed to put it down as the base so that I could, mix up with the oil properly. Yeah, so the chicken is boiling. I did chicken on low heat actually because it's soft chicken and I don't need to boil for so long. But then I also want the seasoning to like enter it properly, so I had to do it on very low heat, and I didn't even add so much water. It was just little water that I added to start off with. And then here the stew is already doing it's already doing little by little, and I had to wait for it. And then at this point I was thinking of what to do. Do I make rice? Do I boil rice? What do I do? I always have that issue of what exactly to do. But I moved on, and then I added my pepper mix, which was just the scotch bonnet, the bell peppers, garlic, ginger and onions. So I added that to it. So I added my seasoning cube, not seasoning cube, but like the mix I made. I added that, I stirred it, and added salt, added a little bit of salt. I added salt in the beginning, but I tasted it and it wasn't enough. So yeah, I decided to boil rice. My husband and my daughter were going to come in soon, so everything had to move like fast because it was already getting to, I think it was almost 8 o'clock in the night. So yes, it is still. You'd be like, why is the chicken? Why is the chicken not in? Because I'll be storing it in the fridge. I usually don't add the protein inside. So I do the protein separately. So yeah, this is the chicken. So I don't fry because I don't get the concept of frying, especially fish or even turkey, because turkey has a lot of fat. So, or even some chicken too, they do have fat. And I don't see the concept, because you add oil inside something that has oil. These things produce oil. Like, you'll be shocked at the amount of oil that would come out of these things when you air fry them. Like when you actually air fry or grill or something like that, you'd see that produce a lot of oil, so I've opted out for frying. Right, I've opted for family consumption, for home consumption. I don't fry. Right, so yeah, this is how it looks. I did it, I think, 15 minutes on both sides, and yeah, that is what we have. And my rice, I parboiled the rice. I had already washed it, and this is what we have. Rice was getting dry, and then the stew was ready, but I turned off the heat, but I just left it on for it to just dry properly. You can see the rosemary standing one by one inside. Yeah, so food was ready, and then I ate. I had to sit down and eat before it came. But this was actually the second round. This was not the first round. This was the second round. You didn't want to see what I ate at first. It was a lot. I didn't want to show you guys the amount of food I ate, because I do eat a lot. I do eat. Van got back, and my baby had cried in the bus. He had already called me that she was crying a lot, and when she got back, she saw me. She started crying all over again. They were both tired, like. Even she was so tired because it was cold. Thank you guys for watching today's vlog. See you in the next one. Bye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.